So now that we have the ingredients together, it's time to get cooking. I originally started making bone broth in this portable oven right here, which is okay. It takes a long time. Usually I would keep the bones in there for about 3 days, 72 hours. These things are relatively cheap. One thing you want to make sure is that there's a thermostat on the front of it there. Some of them come low, medium, high settings, but you're going to want your bones at around 190 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit for 3 days. The other downside is it kind of smells up your house. Basically, your house smells like a cow, which isn't great. And then I graduated to this Instant Pot, which has been a real game changer. The Instant Pot now only takes a few hours to make the broth. The lid seals so it doesn't stink, and it's just been fantastic. Also invented by a Canadian. Speaking of Canada.
She's just a little bit chilly out here, eh? Holy smokes. So I got my bones on the grill. When I cook them on the grill here, I use this little cooking mat. The main reason for that is just so that I don't burn them. I've burnt bones before. Trust me, you do not want to burn your bones. If you burn the bones, your broth is going to taste like an ashtray. So, super important part. I get the grill up to about 400 here. Basically, you're just burning off some of the impurities. And the most important part of all is getting this tomato paste on those bones. So I just like to scoop on a little bit of tomato paste like so. Brush it on the bone. Then I'll flip them over and do that again. I'll leave them on the grill here for about 30 minutes. And then they'll be ready to go. Okay, here we go. You can see the bones now that they've been roasted a bit. The marrow is starting to loosen up a little bit, so they're ready to take them off. It's also worth mentioning that you can totally do this in the oven. Okay, now that the bones are done, we're going to load up the Instant Pot. Your very first step, take your turkey wing, saute that in the bottom of the Instant Pot. Next, start throwing your bones in there. You want to load it right up with bones. The more the merrier. Once I have my bones in there, I'm going to start putting in my veggies. I've got 2 leeks that I've cut in half. Throw those in there. I'm going to put about that much celery in there. I'm going to put about this many carrots in there. Kind of stuff them down into the cracks. I'm going to put in 1 jalapeno. This 1 jalapeno is enough to give it a slight taste of jalapeno. So if you really like the taste, 2 might do it. Maybe 1.5. Going to put some thyme in there. I'm not getting too concerned about the spices at this point. And I'm going to throw in a handful of bay leaves, which I'm convinced don't really do anything. Once that's done, there's a max fill line in the Instant Pot. So you're going to take your distilled water, fill it right up to that max fill line. I'm going to add about, say, that many peppercorns. Ooh, and I almost forgot the apple cider vinegar. I'm just going to put a splash in there. Good. Okay, and now that I have the ingredients in, throw the lid on the Instant Pot. I'm going to hit soup. I'm going to make sure it's on more. And I do it for about 220 minutes. You can do it for probably anywhere between 180 and 220, but I find this works best. Now the Instant Pot's fired up, and you can walk away. So I'm just going to let this go for the 3 hours, and then I will put part 3 of this series up, which is basically how I finish this off. That's how I strain it, how I store it, and then how I enjoy it. So click on part 3.